So you've clicked on this video because you're looking to buy a Tesla. In this video, I'm going to share with you guys exactly why you should finance your Tesla if you decide to buy one. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Nav, and if you're new here, I talk about personal finance, investing, entrepreneurship, and I own a Tesla Model 3. I upload twice a week, so make sure you guys smash that subscribe button to keep up with the latest content. Now, for those of you who don't know, I bought a Tesla Model 3 approximately 9 months ago. I do have a lot of videos on my channel about my Tesla itself, so make sure you guys check those out right after this one. Now, to give you a little bit of a backstory, I've personally owned about 6 cars in my life. The first 3 were just bought out cash because they were less than $10,000. The next 2 were both leased vehicles, and I'm a big fan of leasing cars because I personally don't think that financing ever makes sense when buying any sort of car, unless it's a Tesla, which I'll get to that later on in this video. Now, before I owned my Tesla, my previous car was a 2017 Audi S3. I ended up getting a steal on this car, and my monthly payments ended up being $650 a month, tax in. My insurance payments on that car was approximately $250, and I was paying about $400 a month on gas. It was one of my most favorite cars I've ever owned just because of its compact size, its luxurious presence, and how fast it was. Not only it was my favorite car, but it was also one of a kind due to its black exterior and red interior. It had an amazing sound system, and it was also very good with fuel economy based on its performance. Now, for those of you who don't know, I'm a real estate agent from Toronto, Canada, and I drive a lot throughout my day. I usually drive approximately 100 to 150 kilometers a day based on my appointments and where they are in the city. Sooner or later, I started looking throughout my monthly bill statements, and I started to realize I was paying almost $400 a month on gas. Although gas is an expense for my business, there's other things I'd rather spend that $400 on and expense it as well. So the lease on the car was a 48-month lease, and I had 20,000 kilometers a year to drive. Fast forward 2 years later, I'm midway between my lease, and I started to realize maybe this car isn't for me anymore. And that's when I started to look into a Tesla. Now, those of you who are currently in the market for a vehicle, I personally always recommend leasing a car over financing it. The reason why is because a car is a depreciating asset, and you would rather lease the car rather than finance a depreciating asset. You see, the reality of leasing a car is that your monthly payments are actually based off of a residual value. Whereas if you were to finance a car, you're paying towards the total purchase price within a period of time. Now, you may think that financing a car is a good idea because you're building equity in the car, but just remember, cars are the fastest depreciating things that exist on this planet. It actually depreciates faster than you paying it off. Let me give you an example. If you were to buy a 2020 BMW 5 Series and its price tag is almost $85,000, that car will most likely be valued at $40,000 to $45,000 in a period of 3 to 4 years. After 3 to 4 years, you're probably going to be negative 10 to 15 grand depending on your down payment and the monthly payments you're making on the vehicle. And this is why I highly suggest you should never finance any car. But then I came across the Tesla. And guess what? Tesla in Canada does not have a leasing option for the Model 3. So I did some digging, and I started to realize that the numbers actually make sense, but only for this car. After 2 years of painful gas expenses, I decided to lease transfer my Audi S3. After lease transferring my Audi S3, I went on the Tesla website and I went through the most seamless purchase experience ever. I decided to go with the Tesla Model 3 Standard Range Plus with the white exterior. I ended up choosing the white interior because I wanted that unique look, which costed me an additional $1,300. I didn't believe that the $2,000 rim upgrade was worth it, so I highly recommend if you're getting a Tesla as well, just go with the standard aero rims that it comes with. It'll look great once you take the aero cap off, and the best thing is you can always invest that $2,000 in a pair of aftermarket rims, which would look as good, if not better. I didn't pick the full autopilot option at the time, which was approximately $8,000. After the purchase price, taxes, shipping and PDI, and the $5,000 governmental rebate that I got for getting a zero-emission car, my car costed me $56,500. I ended up choosing an 8-year financing option on the car, which I'll get to why you should as well later on in the video. My monthly payments ended up at $675 a month on an 8-year term. Not only that, my insurance dropped to $210 a month because Tesla is rated the safest car in the world. And the best part is I'm now spending $0 a month on gas. Now I did make a small investment at home, but it wasn't a big dent in the pocket. It only cost me approximately $650 to install the Tesla charger at home. I ended up installing it in my garage, and it's just a regular 240 volt that you would use for your washing machine. Now for those of you who are curious and live in Toronto as well, who are looking to buy a Tesla Model 3 and want to charge at home, my electricity bill only went up by approximately $50. Now for those of you who don't know about Teslas and their maintenance, I actually have no maintenance annually. Not only that, I'm spending now $0 a month on gas, so I'm actually saving $400 a month that I used to spend on my Audi S3. Another great advantage is that Tesla actually offers an 8-year warranty on their battery or 160,000 kilometers. My brake pads are recommended to be changed every 180 to 200,000 kilometers. This car is literally a no-brainer at this point. Not only it has all these great financial perks, but it also is equipped with the best technology you can get in any car. My car gets over-the-air updates. I wake up one morning and I have a notification on my phone, and the next thing you know, my car has a new update that's making it more efficient. It's getting these new perks, maybe a new video game that I can play with when I'm bored. There's just so much to it, guys, and it's just so exciting. And every single time I walk into this car, it just makes me so happy. This is happiness that I've gotten from no other car. Now, instead of me ranting about all the quirks and features that this car is equipped with, make sure you guys head over to my channel after this video and check out the other videos I have on my Tesla Model 3. Now let's get to the real question on why you should finance your Tesla Model 3. First of all, leasing a Tesla Model 3 is not an option in Canada, so that's way out of the question. Second of all, if you have cash on hand, I shouldn't need to tell you this, but I'll say it anyway, don't ever buy a car full 100% in cash. You should always leverage what you can and have monthly payments, because most of these loans that you get on vehicles are open loans, which means you can pay it off at any time. I'd also like to share that I've driven almost 18,000 kilometers in the past 9 months, and I'm trending to drive 25,000 kilometers. Which means in my total lease term period for my Audi S3, I would save a total of roughly $12,000. And what does the average consumer do after their 4-year lease term is up? Well, they grab another brand new car for another 4 years. This is also another reason why I decided to finance the car for a total of 8 years, because it's just replacing the fact that I'm not getting an additional new lease for another 4 years. In the total of 8 years or 2 lease cycles of 48 months, I'm going to be saving roughly $24,000 in gas savings. If you were to take a look at Tesla's resale value as well, you would notice that they depreciate a lot less than the average car on the market. For example, if I decided to sell my Tesla Model 3 today, after 12 months of owning it and driving it with 20,000 kilometers, I could actually completely break even though I'm paying minimum payment on the longest term possible. This just shows you how strong and how powerful the Tesla market is and how well it keeps its value. Now that you're catching on, this is exactly why I financed my Tesla for 8 years. Not only I'm going to be keeping this car for 8 years, if not longer, but it's an open loan, and whenever I decide to pay it off, I can do so with no penalty. This results in my payments being as low as possible monthly, and the best part is, again, I can pay it off whenever. In my opinion, it's very, very important to keep your monthly bill payments on a car as low as possible. That way you can leverage your cash elsewhere and hopefully generate you more wealth. And this is purely just my personal opinion, so if you think otherwise, let me know in the comment section down below what you would do if you were to buy a car in today's market. Now, to summarize today's video, you really just don't want to be financing a car that will not only depreciate over time, but will have tremendously large expenses with maintenance later on in the future. The only reason I suggest to finance a Tesla is because this is a car that you can actually keep for as long as you'd like. 99% of today's cars with combustion engines have crazy amounts of maintenance over time. The older the car gets, the more expensive it is to repair, so it really just doesn't make sense to own today's cars that have combustion engines longer than 3-4 years, because that's when the problems really start to kick in. Whereas if you own a Tesla, you have very minimal maintenance to worry about, and thanks to its 8-year warranty program, this is a car that you know you'll be safe with for a very long period of time. If you guys are thinking about buying a Tesla, make sure you guys use my referral link. I'll leave it down in the description below. It'll get you free 1,500 kilometers or 1,000 miles of free supercharging. Make sure you guys smash that like button. It'll really help my channel grow. But with that being said, my name is Nav, and I'll see you guys in the next video.